Good morning, everybody. It's about 5 of 8 here in the mountains on Thursday, November 21st. How's everybody doing? Hey, of course, I'm doing that magnanimous thing of having my coffee first thing in the morning. And I'm going to shower and shave. Of course, my legs, as you all know. Ha! And I have a 9:30 dentist appointment. Sure. Got to go in and get the teeth, T-E-E-F, cleaned and so forth. Now, of course, I have these epiphanal brainstorms at the oddest times of the day. First thing in the morning, sitting on the throne, rush hour traffic, all the above. Yeah, you ever been in rush hour traffic and be sitting on the throne? You get a few onlookers. But no. Here's the thing. Sitting here thinking about a post I placed on my Facebook wall yesterday or the day before about Michael Jordan and Juanita, his first wife, and they had 3 kids, and the divorce, and I think it said something about it was one of the most expensive divorces in recorded American history. And, well, I mean, I guess it makes kind of sense because you're looking at the greatest basketball player of all time who's amassed quite a fortune. Let's just say that in his business dealings in his professional career, mainly his business dealings. And, you know, I guess he was having an affair with some other woman or something, which is never a smart thing to do if you're someone in the limelight, and I really wouldn't think it's a smart thing to do, even if you're some scrub who lives in the suburbs. But that said, have we ever noticed that all of our politicians and all of our appointed leaders or our heroes, you know, pretty much the majority of them are perceived to be, you know, of course, heterosexual. And almost all are married and presumed to have a level of wedded bliss, you know, and families and so forth. When we, as a people, what is it now? 2 out of 3 marriages, as well as small businesses, fail in the first 7 to 10 years. Yeah. Oh, here he comes. I heard the door creak from the garage. Can only be one man, Mr. Matthias. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. So yes, I admit it. I'm still a little scatterbrained. I'm just kind of getting my thoughts together. But yeah, to stay on track here, or as they say, stay on task. Yes, on task. Something that we all have indifference to. This marriage thing, right? Now, like I've said before in some of my videos, in my respected opinion, considerable opinion, being single takes courage. I mean, it does. You know, whether it's truly a choice or just kind of a current slant or fate of things, no matter how you slice it or dice it, boys and girls, being single isn't easy, you know, and it takes a level of courage. It really does. You know, you think about single mothers and the responsibilities that they have, or a single father, you know, and the responsibilities he has. But the responsibilities you have to yourself can be quite large, you know. I mean, if you're sick, you've got to get yourself well. If you're hungry, you got to cook yourself a meal. Or, you know, you can get in the car and go get something processed. But generally, you got to be your own best friend. I mean, you really got to keep your head dialed in and get what you need to get done. Because there isn't anyone to abdicate the responsibilities to. It's like, hey, honey, I was going to tackle A, B, and C here today. Do you think I can count on you for LMNO, and we'll see who can get to P? That didn't come out right, but you get my point. You know, right? Like I'll take care of these things on the list of things to do, or what we need to get done, and you handle these other three things or whatever, and we'll look at the end of the day or the end of the weekend and see what we got done. And that's how a healthy relationship works and how it should work. Matthias, here, let me get that for you. There you go, buddy. Little observatory. So, when I don't have the camera on, he talks to me the same way and makes weird noises, just in case you were wondering. But, right, back to the marriage thing. It's like, somebody running for office, oh, he's handsome, he's articulate, he's intelligent, he really, he's got a great smile. And he seems to have, everything in place, and it sounds wonderful. But he's not married. Well, personally, I think that's more of a female mind frame, contingency, okay, as it were. Not too many guys are sitting around going, that guy makes a lot of sense, man. I can get behind that guy, we need him on our team, I could vote for him, or, whatever. Rick, it's a real shame, man, that guy's, he's single, man. He's not married, Nah. Men don't think that way. Real men, We're thinking, what's this guy bringing to the table? Does it make sense for him to be our head of, ahead of things, our leader, or, someone that can whip things into shape? Whatever it is, whether he's running our country or he's maybe the captain of the ball club, or, he's the general that he's gonna lead us into battle. We're not really thinking about his social statuses. We're thinking, is this guy going to get us killed? Is this guy going to make us rich? Is this guy going to lead us to the promised land and whatever it is that we're trying to get done? Oh, that preacher, man, he gives me a lot to think about, but I think he's a hypocrite, man. He's not married. No, guys just don't think that way in general. We just don't. So I think it's really a female stereotype or prerequisite, as it were, that you have to be married. But again, so many of our marriages fail. Now, I was married forever and a day. And I wouldn't say that my marriage failed. It just kind of ran its course. If a marriage failed, by the time it's over, you're pointing the blame at each other. And, that's an entire other subject. But that certainly wasn't how things were between me and my ex. We're still amicable and excellent friends. But Michael Jordan and others, these powerful men who get divorced, take it long and hard in the shorts, as they say, and which is kind of par for the course. And a lot of guys now are getting smarter about prenuptials. But excuse me, it's kind of a shame that that's kind of how things have to be. On the other hand, it's rare that you'll see a very powerful woman and wealthy woman marrying a man of little financial means. Usually power marries power, looks marry looks, wealth marry wealth. And sometimes all the above marry all the above, because it's usually generally the beautiful people that have the most, But, I take that back. I think some of the people that truly have the very, very most aren't all that beautiful. They're just geniuses at whatever they're doing. But, we won't go there either. But I think, again, it takes a lot of courage to be single. And if we were to elect single politicians, bisexual politicians, grounded homosexual politicians, nothing that's going to be too flamboyant. I don't really want, and no, the President of the United States, and somebody comes out and is cross-dressing, that would be kind of hard to explain at the UN. But right, we put so much emphasis on marriage, but we who put the emphasis on it generally come up short in our quest for longevity and success, right? And like I said, in my case, I was fortunate to have longevity and success during my marriage and since my divorce. And my ex can say the same thing. But again, being single is not a black eye. Being single is not a sickness. It's not a weakness. It's not like, well, if you're single, there must be something wrong with you because there's so many of us. Why don't you have someone? I have someone. I have a few people. Well, why would you have a few people if you're married? Right? Well, let's change the subject. Okay. But it takes truly a level of courage. Now, if I wanted to date someone, I could. This isn't, I'm just the ugliest, nastiest bleh guy on the planet as a person and in appearance. And no. I've just gotten very, very selective because, when you come out of a long-term union, it's a shock to the system. And for those who've been in those, who find themselves in a similar position, can certainly understand what I'm saying. But, again, it takes a lot of work. And I think that's something that should be admired in a person, is their ability to handle themselves and their lives independently. It doesn't get much more independent than that. So I certainly don't think it's a weakness. And, maybe it does, if you're smart, it should take time to find someone suitable. Because when you are with someone for a long time, you do have a certain personality to one another, a certain habitual habit, a rolling vibe about yourself, a comfort zone. And you can't just necessarily pick that up with the first, second, third person you meet once you find yourself alone and dating again. So to all those single people out there, this video is kind of for you guys, and gals. It's just, just remember, there is no weakness in being single, and there's nothing wrong with you. I think what it really shows society is how strong you are and the courage that you have, because it is one of the most difficult things you can do. But I think it's noble, and it says a lot about your personality, that whether I have someone in my life or not, I can do this, and I will do this, and I got this, right? Have a great day, people. Love you all.